All right, Henry. I've got to tell you, I stumbled upon something that genuinely blew my mind, especially with the way petrol prices are going these days. I mean, who isn't feeling the pinch at the pump?
Oh, tell me about it, Angel. Every time I fill up, it feels like I'm taking out a small loan. It's ridiculous. I've even started trying to consolidate my trips, doing the whole drive less thing, but for most people, that's just not an option, is it?
Exactly. It's an unavoidable expense for so many of us. But what if I told you there's this really innovative, surprisingly simple product that could actually help you save on fuel pretty significantly without changing your driving habits?
Okay, you've got my attention. Significantly and simple in the same sentence when talking about fuel savings? That usually means either you're selling me a bridge or it's a complicated engine modification that costs a fortune. Spill the beans.
Neither. It's called the Marvel Fuel Saver, and honestly, the first time I saw it, I did a double take because well, it looks like a wine bottle cork. Seriously, that's its form factor.
A wine bottle cork. You're pulling my leg. So you just, pop it into your fuel tank and suddenly your car runs on good vibes and rosé? This sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
No, not quite rosé, though wouldn't that be a world? The genius is in its simplicity and its mechanism. You literally just drop one piece into your petrol tank every time you fill up. That's it. No complicated installations, no wires, no apps, nothing.
Just drop it in? And what exactly does this magical cork do once it's swimming in my petrol? Does it whisper sweet nothings to the fuel molecules, convincing them to be more efficient?
It's actually much more grounded in science than that, surprisingly. The core principle behind it is friction reduction. You see, when fuel moves through your engine, there's a lot of internal friction happening at a microscopic level. The Marvel Fuel Saver helps to minimize that.
Friction reduction in the fuel. I thought friction was mostly an issue with moving parts, like in the engine itself, not the fuel. Can you explain that a bit more? Because my car isn't exactly a high-performance race car, so I'm trying to wrap my head around this.
That's a great question, Henry. Think about it this way. Fuel isn't just a simple liquid, it's a complex mixture of hydrocarbons. As it flows through the lines, injectors, and into the combustion chamber, there are countless interactions. Microscopic friction occurs between the fuel molecules themselves and between the fuel and the surfaces it contacts.
This subtle friction, while not as obvious as, say, brake friction, still saps energy. The Marvel Fuel Saver contains special compounds that, once dissolved in the petrol, work to modify the fuel's properties at a molecular level, making it slipperier, if you will. This reduces that internal friction, allowing the fuel to flow more efficiently and burn more completely.
Ah, okay, slipperier fuel. That makes a bit more sense. So, less resistance in the fuel system means the engine doesn't have to work quite as hard to deliver the same power, or it gets more out of each drop of fuel. Am I getting that right?
Exactly. You've hit the nail on the head. When you reduce that friction, the combustion process becomes more efficient. Your engine uses less fuel to produce the same amount of power, or in layman's terms, you get more miles per gallon, or kilometers per liter. That's where the savings really kick in.
Okay, so the promise is actual fuel savings. That's fantastic. But how much are we talking about? Like a negligible fraction of a percentage, or something I'd actually notice when I look at my monthly bank statement?
That's the beauty of it. The feedback I've seen suggests noticeable savings. People are reporting a significant reduction in their fuel consumption, which, when you do the math over weeks and months, really starts to add up. Think about your daily commute.
If you're filling up once or twice a week, and each time you're saving, say, 5 to 10% on that tank, over a month that's potentially hundreds of dollars back in your pocket. For delivery drivers, taxi operators, or anyone who spends a lot of time on the road, this could be a game changer.
Hundreds of dollars? Now you're talking my language. I mean, I'm always looking for ways to cut back on expenses without sacrificing convenience. And if all I have to do is drop a little cork in my tank, that's about as convenient as it gets.
I'm thinking about my friend who drives for a ride-sharing app. He's constantly complaining about how much fuel eats into his profits. This could seriously help him out. It almost sounds too good to be true, you know?
I know, I had the same thought. That's why I dug a bit deeper. But the science behind reducing friction in fluids is well established. It's just applying that principle in a very user-friendly way for everyday drivers. And the best part is how safe it is for your vehicle.
It's designed to be completely compatible with all standard petrol engines, so you don't have to worry about it damaging your fuel lines or engine components. It's an additive, essentially, that enhances the fuel's performance.
That's a huge relief. Because honestly, the first thing that comes to mind with any new car product is this going to void my warranty, or is this going to mess up my engine in the long run? So knowing it's safe is a massive plus.
Absolutely. It's not about modifying your engine, it's about optimizing the fuel you put into it. And think beyond just the monetary savings. More efficient fuel consumption also means a reduction in emissions, which is a small but significant win for the environment too.
Right, that's a good point. Every little bit helps on that front. So one piece per fill-up, does it matter how big the tank is? Like, does a small car need the same amount as a big SUV?
From what I understand, one piece is formulated to treat a standard full tank of petrol. It disperses evenly once it's in there, working its magic throughout the entire volume of fuel. So it simplifies things, you don't have to measure anything.
That's even better for someone like me who sometimes struggles with simple instructions. So let's talk about the wine bottle cork look again. Is it literally shaped like one, or is it just a nickname?
It's pretty much spot on. It's a small, solid piece, shaped somewhat like a cork. It's quite discreet. I imagine it's designed that way for easy handling and to be easily identifiable, unique in its simplicity. No confusion with other automotive additives that might look like liquids or pellets.
I can picture it now. So when I'm at the petrol station, instead of just swiping my card, I'm also doing a little uncorking ceremony for my fuel tank. That's kind of fun, actually. Adds a bit of mystique to the whole process.
Exactly. It takes something mundane and gives it a little twist. And that feeling of knowing you're proactively saving money and potentially helping your engine run a bit smoother, it's a good feeling. It's not just about offsetting the cost, it's about smart expenditure.
Smart expenditure, I like that. So let's say I'm someone who drives an older car, maybe not the most fuel-efficient model to begin with. Would I see even greater benefits because my car probably has more friction to reduce?
That's a really insightful question, Henry. It's plausible that older vehicles, which might inherently have less optimized fuel systems or slightly more wear and tear, could potentially see a more pronounced improvement, because any reduction in internal friction would have a more noticeable impact on their overall efficiency.
But even for newer, more efficient cars, there's always room for optimization. Manufacturers design for a broad range of conditions, but there's always a margin for improvement, and that's where products like the Marvel Fuel Saver come in.
So it's not just a niche product for gas guzzlers, it's something that could universally benefit pretty much any petrol vehicle owner. That's a strong selling point. I mean, everyone wants to save money, right?
Absolutely everyone. And the ease of use is key. There's no learning curve, no special tools, just literally drop it in. It removes all barriers to entry for people who might be intimidated by car maintenance or even just adding liquid additives.
That's true. I've tried those liquid fuel additives before, and sometimes it's a messy process, or you're not sure if you've put in too much or too little. A pre-portioned solid piece like this really does simplify things. I love that.
It's all about making it effortless for the consumer. And when something is effortless and delivers tangible savings, it's a win-win. Imagine the collective impact if more people adopted something like this.
I can. Less money spent on fuel means more money for anything else. Groceries, bills, that weekend getaway you've been putting off. It adds up to real disposable income. It's not just a car gadget, it's a personal finance tool.
Exactly. It's an investment in your wallet, really, and in the longevity of your vehicle, potentially, if reduced friction means less strain on engine components, though the primary benefit they highlight is definitely the fuel saving.
I'm definitely intrigued. I mean, with the way things are going, any legitimate way to cut down on regular expenses is worth looking into. And if it's as simple as you say and effective, then why wouldn't someone give it a try?
My thoughts exactly. It's a low-effort, potentially high-reward solution to a very common and frustrating problem. The Marvel Fuel Saver could be that little cork that stops your savings from draining away at the petrol station.
I love that analogy, Angel. The cork that stops your savings from draining away. That's brilliant. So for anyone out there listening, stuck in that cycle of high fuel costs, it sounds like this is absolutely worth checking out.
Definitely. It's one of those products that makes you think, why didn't someone come up with this sooner? Simple, effective, and addresses a universal pain point. What more could you ask for?
Right? I'm already picturing myself at the pump, dropping in my little fuel saver, feeling like a genius. Thanks for bringing this to our attention, Angel. I'm genuinely excited about the potential here.
My pleasure, Henry. And to all our listeners, if you're looking for a simple way to stretch your fuel budget further and keep more money in your pocket, definitely look into the Marvel Fuel Saver. It might just be the small change that makes a big difference.
Couldn't agree more. Until next time, keep those engines running and hopefully keep those savings growing.